How are we all doing today? I think the music is fine for y'all, but I have to turn it down a little bit for me for some reason. Okay. Hello, hello! Long time no see. So, I got my 2 monitors. I'm good, just got a rice cooker. Let's fucking go, hell yeah. Rice cookers, unironically, I think one of the best kitchen appliances, if you have a good one. But yes, what was I saying? Yes, I got my 2 monitors, but I'm not using the second one yet because I realized my PC has a timer. Yes, those are the best kind. But I was realizing that my PC, it has 2 HDMI ports, but I think the second one, like, isn't meant to be, like, a display HDMI port or something. Like, it's meant for, like, I don't know, like, you plug, like, your, like switch or something in, because I plugged in the second monitor, and it didn't detect anything, so I have ordered a HDMI to DVI cable, because, the PC does have a DVI port, so I'm gonna just do that, but that has not arrived yet. So I have the 2 monitors set up, but I'm not using them yet. But I put my phone tracker. It's meant as an input on a PC. Like, yeah, like, I think it's like, because, like, there's the one HDMI port that I plugged this current new monitor into that's working, and then there's one that's, like, not in the same spot as, like, all the, like, that's the first one, and I plugged the second monitor into that one, and nothing happened, so I don't know. I don't know. I asked my dad, because he is a computer person, and he's a software engineer, and he knows things. And he said that Do you mean the HDMI on the motherboard? I don't know where it is. I don't know. It's just on the... I don't know what specifically each HDMI is attached to. They're just on the back of my computer. I don't know exactly. I did not get any of the computer knowledge that my dad has learned over the years. He did not teach me. Greedy bastard. No, I'm just kidding. HDMI, but it might be a thing of like one HDMI is connected to the motherboard and the other one isn't or something. But regardless, I have the two monitors and I have a solution on the way to actually connect the second monitor. The motherboard part would be away from the GPU slots. And I know where the GPU slots are. It feels so stupid. Literally, I don't know anything about the inside of computer. To me, it is just a box. It is just a box that powers everything. I do not know where specific parts of it are. I do not know what parts are attached to specific parts. Motherboard would be away from, so maybe one of them is attached to the motherboard. But the GPU slots are the ones with some display ports and some HDMI. The motherboard has audio ports and USB ports. Okay, yeah. So there's one that's connected to the motherboard, and then there's one with the GPU slots. So that's probably why it didn't work. Whoopsies. But there is a DVI port there's a DVI port that I'm doing hand gestures again. I made a post on Blue Sky earlier that I'm like, I want to get like a 3D model because I want to be able to talk with my hands. I want to be able to talk with my hands. But there is a DVI port, and I ordered an HDMI to DVI cable that says it's going to be delivered on Thursday. So hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully it arrives. And do you know why the GPU doesn't have more HDMI ports? Probably because it's a PC that my dad built for himself, and he only uses one monitor, so he probably was like, that's just a waste of like, I don't know. I would have to ask him. I'm assuming he built it himself because he's the type to build his own PC. I would be surprised if this was a pre-built. But I would have to ask him his reasoning for the layout. Because I don't fucking know. I just got this for free because I was like, hey, Dad, I'm in the market for a new computer. I'm starting to save up. And he's like, you don't need to save up. I've got an extra one that I'm not using. And I was like, thanks, Dad. And then he gave it to me. So I don't know anything about like the internal. I don't know anything about why he chose. It's because HDMI ports cost manufacturers fees based on how many there are. Damn, okay. Capitalism. But anyways, I might be a little more, I don't know if I'll be more expressive or I'm just moving around more because and display ports don't have those fees. Okay, I see, that's probably why. But yeah, I am like moving around more because I did it moved the phone a little bit, so it might be a little bit different, and I'm like moving around a lot. Yeah, so, but we were playing Of the Devil. Let me go ahead and pause the music. Let me make sure YouTube is up, and let me make sure that I actually have the YouTube chat up. I'm not gonna forget that. Let's switch to gameplay. Okay. We are back in Of the Devil. And even though I don't have my second monitor, let me turn this up. Even though I don't have my second monitor right now, this new monitor still makes it able so that I'm able to see my model as I play, which I wasn't able to do on my old monitor. Okay, let me actually turn this up a little bit for me. Ba 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 boo, ba ba booey. Okay, ba ba ba. Okay, we are getting back into Of the Devil episode 1. So last stream, what happened? What's important? We woke up the android robot girl, and we started investigating David's what is presumed to be suicide, but android girl thinks that it's not suicide. So we are we're going in to, and let me know how the volume is for y'all. I'm actually gonna turn it down for a bit for myself. Let me know how the volume is. If it's too loud, too quiet in comparison, you know, the usual. Okay. What else can we inspect? Okay, one chair knocked over, probably where David was sitting. And one chair pulled out. Sorry, I'm adjusting as I go. I'm adjusting to be... Maybe I should put myself here? No, I'll put myself here. I'll put myself right here. I just want to make sure I'm not covering up the dialogue boxes. But this should be good. This should be good. Also, hello, Cybernetic! Hello, welcome in. Okay, let's get in. And one chair pulled out, a party of 2. He never cared much for socializing, but he enjoyed hosting. Contradictory guy. Okay. Observe. Police androids monitoring the scene. Could almost mistake them for the real thing, the way they stand there trying to look important. Fucking get him, Morgan. Sarah, that's her name. That's the android girl's name. Like an indoor dog taking its first trip to the park. Pardon? Why are you looking at it like you've never seen an android before? Because I haven't. In person. David didn't even let you have a mirror? Brutal. Just scan its GIN if you're that curious. Unless that's considered too forward or whatever. Okay, what else? Look. I always admired this view. The buildings gleam with reflections of holograms and sunlight, and their shadows obscure all the rundown, rotting parts of town. Maybe the view's secondary. Maybe all anyone really wants is to put as much distance between them and the street level as possible. Is it possible that a witness could have seen something through these windows? Not through these windows, no. David installed wide-spectrum auto tint in all his homes, all his cars. I didn't know that. Well, you wouldn't notice unless you were viewing the penthouse from more than... Why did he care so much about his windows? Sarah's so cute. Is there anything else? Here we go. Chessboard. Okay. A chessboard and a data pad with a series of characters on it. E4, C5, NF3, E6, D4, CX, D4, NX, D4. This is... I don't trust myself. I did open the YouTube chat, C3. I did. Aren't you so proud of me? It must be... a message? Some kind of secret message, perhaps? Or... Black has checkmate in 40 moves. Wow, a robot that's good at chess. We ought to put you in a museum. I'm assuming she's being sarcastic here. But I'll take your word for it. What do you mean? Do you not play, Adonai? You are a great streamer with no scuff, Pinky. Thank you so much. I will happily accept those lies you are feeding me. No scuff here. Where we're going, we don't need scuff. No, especially not against David. Was he a really good chess player? Well, that is to be expected. Anyone who challenged Father to a battle of wits would naturally grow tired of losing. I love this pose of hers so much. Every game starts the same. Every player has the same pieces, the same moves, the same options. It's a true test of wit, strategy, and forethought. The good streamer part is true. The scuff, on the other hand, yeah. You know, you win some, you lose some. To me, it always seemed too boring, too fair. The smarter player wins every time. Okay. And that is something... Not gonna reload for the credit on that one. That's a good point, actually. I saved. I might as well. I did not get the credits. Okay. Must be... What, is it a cipher? No. No. It's chess notation. But, like, I thought... I thought that would be too obvious. I thought that would be too obvious. I'm like, of course it's chess, but, like, I thought there was... Oh, this is the kind of game where you're like trying to think 12 steps ahead and they're like, no, actually you just had to take the one step this time, and then you're like, okay. Like, it makes you be like, but it obviously must be this different thing, and it's like, actually this time it's not. Algebraic notation. Was he studying an old game or playing against himself? Black has checkmate. Wow, robot, this good at chess. Take your word for it. What? Playing chess with silly rules. I haven't actually played chess. God, when was the last time I played chess? It must have been when I was like 10 and I was visiting my grandparents' house and they had a chessboard. It's a true test of wit. To me, it always seemed too boring, too fair. The smarter player wins every time. And that is something you take fault with? Of course! How's a gal like me supposed to win a game like that? Morgan, don't sell yourself short. Have 5D chess multiverses and time travel? What the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, I love Morgan being like, games suck when they're fair and the best player wins. Let me lie and cheat, please. Morgan's like, if there's no cheating, then how am I supposed to win? This is bullshit. It's a Steam game. I see. I might have to look into that. Seems like that's everything critical on this side of the room, which leaves the kitchen. You said there's camera footage of the dining room showing David and his guest. What about in here? Only camera in the kitchen is the one mounted on the call terminal. The console took a snap image when the witness ran in to contact emergency services. May I see it? Not unless you scrape the witness's face off the pic first. Don't tempt me. Okay, examine. David's fridge. Normally I want to go poking... Oh, it's one of those rich people fridges. One of those rich people fridges where it looks like just a door. And you're like, where's your fridge? And they're like, it's here. And you're like, what? Normally I want to go poking the pantry at a crime scene, but this was a poisoning. Some white wines chilling in the drawer. Some real cheap liquor stuffed in the icebox. Old habits. Reyes, you said he left the parlor and came back with that whiskey from the basement? Huh? That's what the cams show, yeah. There's plenty to drink right here. And unlike the cabinet downstairs, it's actually cold. He must have wanted Rose River in particular. What's that look for? You hungry? I am an android. I do not get hungry. Newsflash, you're a warm android. You do gotta eat, girl. Are you being sarcastic? Only only moistly. Only moistly. Only mostly. I thought you said you required organic nourishment. I do ingest organic substances, but that doesn't mean that I experience hunger as you do. So, when you don't ingest organic substances for a long time, you... The Brooklyn comes through. I'm not from Brooklyn! I'm just doing accent! I love whenever Sarah mimics Morgan like that. Same, it's so cute. Is this gonna be a conspiracy that I'm like hiding that I'm actually from New York? I become tired. What a great feature. And when I'm done digesting, I don't need to know. I was curious, Morgan. That's the first thing I asked, Morgan. Let her speak. Does she shit? Let her tell me. Let her tell me about her shitting habits, Morgan. Don't be rude. Okay, oh. This is where the emergency call was made. What time did the call go out? Two android girls dream of electric shit. What time did the call go out? 8:04 p.m. Before you ask, the witness left the parlor at 8:03 p.m. Not enough time for them to alter the scene. I wasn't going to ask that. When did the medics arrive? 8:08 p.m., remember? Hell of a response time for a penthouse. Private EMS came by air? Yeah, they landed on the VTOL pad you saw outside, took him to Gatesfield. The very best if you can afford it. Looking around here, seems like he could afford a lot. Well, yeah, he got his insurance through his employer, just like most people. Kate... Oh god, Roman numerals and Kate Cadicius's executive plan number... Number four, yeah. I really need to learn Roman numerals. Cadicius's executive plan number 4 isn't like most people, counselor. What is... He had executive IV plan. David Asher's health insurance policy with Cadicius paid... David Asher's health insurance policy with Cadicius, paid for through Noble Electronics, includes private EMS services on standby. Cadicius only offers 3 levels of employer-provided plans that outrank it. Okay. If the smaller numerals in front, you subtract. Okay. He had executive level? Not like most people at all. Emergency console. A number security console located within David Asher's kitchen used to contact emergency services when he fell unconscious. A private emergency service was contacted at 8:04 p.m. and medics arrived at the helipad outside via VTOL at 8:08 p.m. Said private emergency services contracted through David Asher's Cadicius Executive 4 insurance plan. Okay. Messy workspaces, but a pristine kitchen. David was a good cook, but only for others. Unless he had a guest, he'd happily eat instant ramen and protein bars for all 3 meals. Or 2. Or 1. David is becoming more and more relatable. No signs of food prep to be found. Not so much as a cheese board. ADHD David Asher, let's go! Let's go! There's so many moments where I'm like, I gotta drink a protein shake because I'm getting the hunger nausea, but I gotta eat a cheese stick first because if you drink the protein shake on an empty stomach, then I get like stomach cramps. I have a system. You know, maybe I should make a system for like eating real food, but like, you know, I have a system. Cooking for someone else, full course meal. Alone, forgets to eat. Real. So whoever this guest was, they must have shown up unannounced. Okay. 3 unwashed dishes and a single glass. Reyes, these dishes haven't been scanned for prints yet. And I just assumed you might want to do your job. I love anything she says with this face is pure gold. Yeah, there were prints. Most match the victim. But there's also... Hey! Don't sneak up on me like that. All I did was walk over to you. You knocked over the salt, Adonai. I was focused on the task at hand. Didn't realize tunnel vision was a selling point on your mod. Adonai, the salt. As I was saying, Sarah's just like, Adonai, excuse me, Adonai, and they're just like, meh, just completely ignoring her. As I was saying, the witnesses' prints are on that glass. That glass in the sink? They were drinking from cups in the parlor. Did you see a glass on camera? No. So when did they touch this glass? Sarah hasn't yet learned not to interrupt when the girls are fighting. She will learn with time. Water glass. Glass of water found in the sink of David Asher's kitchen. Bears the DNA and fingerprints of the unknown witness. No trace of any poison. Okay. Oh, whoa. Wait, that's cool. Wait a minute, that's really cool. Did you notice that? Look at Sarah's eyes and her barcode, and then when I open the menu. That's so cool! They glow behind it because they're like, ow, that's so cool! Yeah, she glows in the overlay. It's great. Such a cool touch. It's such a cool touch. I did not notice that until just now, but that is such a cool touch. So when did they touch this glass? You need to toss it over your shoulder. Witness must have thought about giving the guy some water, but he would have just choked on it if they had tried. What, you think this glass was the murder weapon? It's bad luck, Adonai. Whacked him on the back of the head so fast it went between video frames? That's genius. You should go through the footage frame by frame to prove your theory. Mature. It's bad luck. What have you been going on about? The salt? Shouldn't the machine be above petty superstition? Superstition is not petty. She's so pouty. She is so pouty. That is just a... I can't puff my own cheeks, but just imagine. It's not a superstition. It's an ancient wisdom. Give me one logical reason to care then. If too much... Oh, she's doing the face again. If too much salt spills onto your food... I need to do fan art of this game, like, yesterday. Sarah, please do not fall for astrology. No, Sarah, don't go into the astrology game. I need to do fan art of this game, like, proper fan art. Like, obviously I've done the, like... the Pinky as Morgan fan art that I do use for the thumbnails for the streams, but I need to do like proper fan art of these characters. What zodiac sign do you think Sarah is? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know enough about all the zodiacs. The only zodiacs I really know about are like Aries, and then I know about Pisces because that's mine, and then Aquarius, I know a little bit about because that's my brother's. But other than that, I don't really know much about the other ones. Oh, and I know obviously like the Gemini, like sort of stuff. If too much salt spills onto your food, it'll make you gag. You're so right, Sarah. I didn't even think about that, girl. Maybe it's on me for setting the bar too low there. Neither do I, lol. I'm the mermaid zodiac. See, I don't even remember which one the mermaid is. Which one is the mermaid? I know the names of them. I know Pisces is fish, because I always, like, look at those, like, the zodiac signs as blank, and then you scroll all the way to the bottom for Pisces, and that's, like, fish. Aquarius! Oh! Okay. Yeah. You've now had the chance to survey the crime scene. Yeah. So, do you think you know what happened? Detective, is his body still at the hospital morgue? Yeah, he's at Gatesfield. Along with 100 noble Megs who have all called dibs. Then I'll just have to cut in line. Sarah, get me a ride to the Gatesfield Memorial. Huh? What? You can do that, can't you? I can. But I need your payment information to get started. Yeah, okay. Understood. On my way down. Got it? Sync complete. Set pickup for 10 minutes should be plenty. The crowd down there seems to have gotten quite large. Guys, don't you? She's trying to be like, not her mom, because Morgan would never, but like her aunt. Her cool aunt. 10 minutes to reach the pickup spot might be an ambitious target, Adonai. How bad can it be? How bad can I be? I'm just doing what comes naturally. How bad can I be? Sorry. 12:21 p.m., July 1st, 2086. Evangeline Momgin. As I approach the lobby's exit, the building's soundproofing begins to fail. Don't speak for the trees. Unfortunately, I was in like the perfect age bracket for when the Lorax movie got released to have it alter my brain chemistry. I was not quite old enough to see just how weird it was and how, like, I don't know. That one was that's entangled with my soul, unfortunately. You know those media that you're like, unfortunately, I cannot escape this. The building's soundproofing begins to fail. The crowd has gotten bigger, but there's something else happening out there. The energy's not panicked yet, but it's creeping up on the tipping point. Ooh. Are this many people pissed at Noble for selling androids? The hell's got them all so excited? What does that symbol mean? In this rabble, probably something vulgar. Which one? That heart with a bullet hole. Is it perhaps the Heartbreak Killer? Is it perhaps the Heartbreak Killer? Morgan in the last episode, and the Heartbreak Killer will never be brought up again. Morgan right now, shit. Fuck. I don't know. It's probably nothing. Morgan internally screaming in fury. So for C3007, I don't think you were here for the Chapter 0 streams. This is the symbol of the Heartbreak Killer, who is, spoiler alert, Morgan. She's a criminal defense attorney, as in she is a defense attorney who is also a criminal. I can't shoot an entire crowd. I don't know, it's probably nothing. Let's get the fuck out of here, Sarah. based on net associations, it appears to be a symbol for the Heartbreak Killer. Doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would that freak have a symbol or a following or these, whatever these people are? I love how gay this game looks. Hell yeah. This game looks so cool in general. Whatever these people are. Also, hello, welcome in. Name. Sorry. Name. And why the hell would they be outside David Asher's apartment? Cause Noble's trying to cover up the truth. They are? Oh no, Sarah, don't go down the pipeline. Those Megs in there are scrambling to shred every document they can! Morgan with the dead eyes, yeah. We need to stick together, form a perimeter. Why am I doing like a Dr. Phil? She wants to murder this guy so bad. You want to murder me so bad it makes you look stupid. We need to stick together, form a perimeter. I'm like, this is like a cross between Dr. Phil and what's that one girl from Big Mouth? The girl with the braces. Oh, we need to stick together, form a perimeter, and try and catch them when they go to dump the scraps. Sarah, what are you hoping to find? Proof that Asher was killed for trying to blow the whistle. Blow the whistle on Heartbreak? Noble doesn't want to know the world to know that the AI A16 is sentient and homicidal. Oh, okay, that's the conspiracy. That's the conspiracy, is that Heartbreak is an A16. I see. You think that Heartbreak is an android? Do you think it would... Chat, does he know? You think whoever did all that was human? Morgan like... Morgan like, first of all, rude. Noble's advanced prototype went amok and started killing. Started killing random people? Morgan, don't! Morgan, this is good for you. If it's a stupid theory that's completely the opposite of the truth, that's good for you. Don't question him. Don't be a lamb. It only looks random. There's a clear pattern, as long as you're smart enough to see past the bullshit. Okay, what is the pattern? I would love to know the pattern, my guy. Oh, I think these are all different people anyway, but I'm giving them the same points. This is why you don't get into astrology, Sarah. Oh, okay. And how does one see past the bullshit? How do you see past a bull's excrement? Stop engaging. Smart kid, she gets it. She's asking the right questions. What the hell are you talking about? No way those victims weren't related. It's gotta be deniable ops. Oh, assault chicken that was accidentally knocked over during the investigation. The cap was loose and so salt spilled all over the countertop next to the sink. Spilled salt is an omen of bad luck according to some. Consuming too much salt at once will make you gag according to Sarah. Absolutely fucking wild that Sarah is standing there with a visible GIN and they're like, smart kid, as if she's not also obviously a warm-bodied android, a presumable A16. That's, yeah. They're like, man, that's a cool hairstyle. What's it? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, deniable ops. A fictional designation for covert actions whose existences are probably plausibly deniable. Deniable is a fictional classification for clandestine state actions that need not be taken responsibility for, because plausible deniability and military disinformation efforts create enough confusion that every party involved, even the victims, can spin the outcome to suit their own narrative needs. No such designation exists. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. Governments and corporations have never engaged in clandestine operations like mass murder. Lying. Never, ever, ever. Deniable ops are a common reoccurring concept in online conspiracy theories, often used to wave away questions about why supposedly explosive events are never reported on through the media or addressed by world governments. It is also commonly claimed that deniable ops make ample use of private military contractors in order to further distance governments from their political ramifications of their military actions. Conspiracy theories are no laughing matter. If you're worried that someone you know might be being indoctrinated or spreading misinformation themselves, you can report them to the state at our non-confidential portal here. They've all been in DO together before getting their records bleached. Then, as soon as they've outlived their usefulness... What are you, nuts? This is turning into Goofy now. Everyone knows the first 6 HK got to were the 6 prototypes that came before him. What? Warm android so perfect no one could tell the diff. A bullet to the heart's the only way it could kill those other over-engineered freaks. Everyone's got a goddamn opinion. I see. Stop seeing, start moving. These people are insane. Why don't you eat some more corn slop, asshole? You think you can beat a cyberpunk without ever thinking for yourself? A mythologized countercultural icon or way of being. Originally a term coined in a short science fiction story, and later having grown into a genre all its own, cyberpunk or cyberpunk historically has referred to a counterculture centered around the themes of underdogs resisting powerful corporate or government forces through digital guerrilla warfare. While the genre has persisted to modern times and evolved in numerous ways, over the last 2 decades, it has taken on new meanings as a kind of mythologized way of being for the adolescent or disaffected that emphasizes anti-authoritarianism, community organizing, corporate disengagement, and socioeconomic consciousness. The so-called singular cyberpunk has become the 21st century man without a name, a wanderer with their own rule of law. Cultural critic Simon Essentia summarized the appeal as thus: there is no such thing as a 21st century hero. Is it any wonder the most vulnerable among us turn to the past for guidance? Users also frequently search for, "Get ready with me, cyberpunk, the 99 man explained, are co-ops illegal?" Interesting. That's such cool. You think it's a coincidence victim number 6 was working on hardcore crops? They're putting something in the food! They're putting chemicals in the water to turn the freaking frogs gay! Those people... Heartbreak. This is a goddamn embarrassment. The hell am I paying taxes for if the state can't shut this shit down? What about you, Adonai? What do you think about this heartbreak figure? They're just a murderer. Should be caught and sentenced like any other murderer. But they must have some reason for doing such terrible things. Aren't you curious? Why? Are some reasons for committing murder better than others? I mean... They might have experienced trauma or abuse. They might have... Millions of people experience trauma and abuse every day. Millions. Yeah, well, yeah, Morgan. It's like, yeah, like... There are, like... That's why, like, different murder charges exist. Arguably billions in the setting, TBH, yeah. It's like, she's like, Sarah, listen to me. Everyone, look around you. Look at all these people. Everyone. All of us. And yet there's only one heartbreak. So you think that they were just born that way? Oh. That's my guess. Oh, Morgan. That's unsatisfying. Sad. I don't see why it would be. Morgan's like, stop sympathizing. Stop sympathizing with me accidentally. If heartbreak was born like that, then they never had a chance to be anything else. Oh, you know, I was just damned and irreparable from birth. It's normal, it's fine, I've made peace with it. Girl who's lying. If heartbreak was born like that, then none of us normal people ever have to worry about turning out like them. We're all normal people here. She's sweating. That kind of predestination, it means that they will never have to take responsibility for what they are. The state can make them take responsibility. As soon as they catch them! You make it sound so trivial. They are a very dangerous serial killer. Just a serial killer. Just a serial killer. Just? If HK shot someone every day, it would take them 1,132 years and about 11 months. Hello, fellow normal people. Totally normal person here watching VTubers. Yes, and I'm the totally normal person who decided to become a VTuber. Everyone knows only the most normal people. In order to have killed 413,789 people. You did that in your head? I'm good at mental math. Okay, rub it in. Some of us have dyscalculia, Morgan. You counted the leap years. You're totally mentally stable. Yeah, totally mentally stable. Totally. But what is the significance of that number? Deaths within 18 months of the Blakeford industrial disaster. What is the Blakeford industrial disaster? We encountered an issue while processing your request. Congestion ahead. We're currently limiting traffic related to this particular search due to a large number of edits coming in from net addresses outside of your country's borders. Oh! Totally not topical. We're proud to fight alongside variable user country in combating disinformation by foreign actors, like those in variable user adversary. You can read more about how and why this collaboration works here. Tired of running into slowdowns? So are we. But maintaining a secure data border takes resources. Contact your local representatives and explain why you think the national data security budget needs to be expanded using our easy write-in form here. Have you heard the Steam bank card drama stuff? Oh boy, have I! It's totally not a topical thing. It's totally not a topical thing of just, just payment processors just deciding like, oh, no, we can choose what you buy. Even 4chan store, like, that's the thing is that, like, but that's the thing is that, like, it's unite, like, Jesus, just, like, literally, like, everyone except for, like, the few people at the top are like, this fucking sucks, why would you do this? Like, yeah, it's not just Steam, it's also itch.io, and payment processes have always been hostile to sex workers and transgressive art. Yeah, unfortunately, it's like, it wasn't, like, too much of a surprise, you know, that they're trying to do this, that they feel like they have the power and the means to do this, and not, like, because they know that they have the monopoly. Yeah, there's a reason why my long-term Discord friend and I recently exchanged actual phone numbers, because who fucking knows what's gonna happen on the internet now in 2025 and beyond. Who fucking knows? And I don't want to lose contact with them, and I wouldn't be able to find contact with them if it went down, because they live in New Zealand. There's also the Australian group that caused this. Yeah, but like, I think the payment processors were looking for an excuse for a while. They were wanting to do this for a while, and the collective shout was just an excuse for them to be like, look, we're doing a good thing. But I feel like they've wanted to do this for like, I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing, is that it's so hypocritical, is that there's so, like, it's like, we're protecting women and we're trying to get, like, you know, the harmful content off of the platform. And it's like, no, first of all, so hypocritical when you support cuties and wrote a whole think piece about how you don't think it's encouraging pedophilia, but oh, no, suddenly all the queer people and all the people just making porn games that are literal, like cuties used actual children, and you're saying that's not supporting pedophilia, but someone's porn game that they drew, that one guy made in, like, you know, a week, like, oh no, that's the big one. Whoa. Like shit like this is why, you know, like, I have the opinion that, like, you know, stuff in the porn industry could be made better, but I never want to go out and say that I'm, like, against pornography, because pornography is not bad. And I hate people trying to, like, be like, oh, but, like, it's porn, and it's like, yeah, we're humans. Humans have sexual feelings. Yeah, it's relatively small. It's they linked up to a more extensive right-wing religious propaganda machine, and yeah, they pretend to be feminists but are just die-hard right Christians if I read right. Yeah, no, you're reading it exactly right. They're trying to use progressive language and trying to hide under the guise of they're doing feminism, but they're just pushing right-wing, like, conservative, like fundamentalist Christian talking points, and it's like, okay, that's not feminism, girl. That's not what feminism is. Just a bunch of swerfs, sex work exclusive radical feminists. Even if there weren't a religious component, actively harming marginalized women, example, sex workers, artists, is anti-feminist, which is what the politics supposed to do. Exactly. Well, because that's the thing, is that, like, and then they're talking about, they're like, oh, well, you know, like, non-mainstream porn is, like, such a small percentage that it's not even worth worrying, like, thinking about. And it's like, first of all, no. First of all, just straight up wrong. Second of all, okay, it's still a percentage, so you're just gonna nuke the whole thing? That's not how progress gets made. That's just, you're just trying to censor, and it's just, yeah, a lot of stuff in this game is only becoming more and more relevant and more hitting close to home as 2025 progresses. This episode 1 was released February of 2025, by the way, and everything's just getting more and more relevant. Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is that, like, at the end of the day, like, it's gonna hurt the smaller people the most, which are, you know, the marginalized people, the sex workers who are queer or people of color or disabled and are trying to, like, this is the only form of work that they're able to do successfully. Like, you're hurting them. You're not doing anything good. You're not even doing what you think you're doing. Times that number by 2 for the injuries, tack on another 183% for the birth defects. Oh yeah, I know of multiple trans women game devs and artists that have been fucked by the changes each.io was forced to make. Yeah! That's the thing, is that it hurts the marginalized voices the most. It hurts them first and it hurts them harder. The fact that they're trying to hide behind a feminist, like, be like, no, we're feminists. It's like, You fucking know you're not. Because God forbid a trans woman write about controversial topics in their art. Yeah, and it's like, and I've noticed that with like, especially trans women, but like, you know, like non-cis people and like queer people in general, of like, you know, it's like, oh, you put that in this piece of media, so that must mean you're trying to endorse it. And it's like, no, maybe they put it in because they want to explore that topic. And that's something that should be allowed and encouraged in art. What's the point of art if you can't explore different topics? That doesn't mean it's automatically an endorsement of said topics. Like, wasn't there a game on itch that got taken down that was like a woman, like someone made it about her own experience with her own rape, and they were like, and they took that down, and it's like, that's not condone. That's the furthest opposite thing from condoning. That's the exact opposite. Oh. I'm pretty sure there's multiple works like that. Yeah, that's the thing, is I can't even bring up just like, oh, it's this one, because there have been multiple like that. Because the rule from payment processors is like no depictions of non-consent. Yeah, and it's just a blanket rule of like none at all, which leaves no room to explore those topics in a way that is not trying to like sensationalize or like make light of the issues. But it's even more fucking going with itch.io because there aren't even like real people involved. It's all fictionalized an issue. Exactly. It's like, what? Oh my god, like, I get, because here's the thing, and then like all the people are like, oh well, so you're okay with people drawing this, and it's like, first of all, yes, like, people can draw whatever they want. It's not real. Sure, if they post it to like a public like platform that invites like critique and criticism, but like regardless, like people should be able to create the art that, you know, like people should be able to explore difficult topics and not necessarily be said like, oh, you're condoning it. Like, because, and it's such like, because, and like people are like, oh well, it's just, you know, it's just this stuff, and it's like, okay, but once they set the precedent for it's just this stuff, it's just non-consensual content, it's just this, which is already bad because it's like limiting the like ability to explore those topics in like a respectful and like deep manner. They're not gonna stop there. There's no way they're gonna stop there. It's gonna go on to, if there's anything LGBT, if there's like two like characters of the same gender kiss, or like they're gonna go further, and that's what's scary, is that it's already bad and it's only going to get worse. If they had an actual argument, they'd be able to articulate coherent and persuasive criticism, but instead they push for the extreme response of sweeping overt censorship. Exactly. And also, like, they're like, oh, we're trying to protect the children, and it's like, okay, are you gonna do anything about their, like, the children's, like abusive parents and shit? Because, like, it doesn't all just come from the internet. Like, sure, some of it does, but, like, that's not just gonna, you can't just do this and then it just fixes it all. Like, that's not how this fucking works. That's not how anything works. 413,000 dead, and there wasn't anything evil about it. Just human error, some shoddy welding, and time. Governments love to pretend they care about children and then refuse to update and improve upon sex education and refuse to educate parents on how not to be shit parents. Yeah, it's because they love children as a commodity, not as individual people. They love children as a group of being like, that they can point to and go, think of the children, but they have no interest in actually caring for them as individuals. So you think that heartbreak is nothing by comparison? Perhaps that is the problem then. If they're nothing, if they represent nothing, then they can stand for whatever the crowd wants them to. Morgan's like, oh shit, you're right. Please make way. Officials are coming through. Please disperse. Keep walking, pigs! Fascists! Noble owns the cops! For example, in Texas, there was a porn law, and all that did was stop the big reliable companies that already tried to protect minors and left the ones that didn't care. Yeah! That's the thing, is that they're talking about, like, oh, well, it's the mainstream porn that's bad, and it's like, okay, but these laws don't hinder the mainstream porn that is... I agree, a lot of mainstream porn has, like, issues that can be talked about, but that doesn't mean all porn is bad, and that any attempt at making porn will always be unethical. I think that's just silly. I think it is entirely possible to make an ethical porn, and I think there are people doing that. It's just that they're not as big, but they're the ones that are getting stomped on the hardest. Only the cops they build in their factories. Oh, that's such a... look at, they're so cool! They're so fucking cool! They're so fucking cool! Well, yeah, and then also the thing of like, oh, you need an ID to get into this porn website. Okay, so now your ID is in the database. You think the government's not gonna, like that's just so much bullshit. Very funny. Why are we tolerating this shit? You want me to wade into the crowd with a nightstick? Prove them wrong? You know what I mean. We're the only people in this city trying to do some goddamn good, and they all just... That's just part of our job, detective. No offense, ma'am, but wearing a police badge earns you a little more hate than... Do they give prosecutors badges? In Japan, they do. That's why in Ace Attorney, they have badges. I have an ID for the parking garage. Does that count? Depends. You ever hesitate to wear it in the open? Oh my gosh! The red and the blue, but then Sarah... Emma's red toned and Sarah's cool toned. It's just such a good composition! Oh no, poor Reyes. I need to read this. Oh no, poor Reyes! Are people being mean to you? Because you signed up and you chose to be a cop for an authoritarian state? Oh, poor Reyes! Poor Reyes! Oh, this composition is so good. The cool tones back here with the cool tone background, and then red tones here, and then the red tones with the red background, and then cool tones. Oh, it's so good. This game is such good art. This moral relativism of yours seems like a strange philosophy for someone in your profession, Adonai. And Morgan looking unhinged with that mouth. Yeah, she looks like that one flashback of Pink Diamond in Steven Universe back when we didn't know Pink Diamond was Rose. That one episode where like Garnet was telling the story and there was like the part where like Pink Diamond's like and she looks exactly like that. Breaking out the thesaurus on me? I'm only being realistic and humble. I'm just one woman, Sarah. Whatever I do, right or wrong, it's less than a % rounding error in the grand scheme of things. I only killed 7 people, Sarah. You gotta understand. Do you tell that to your clients? No. Oh no, she killed way more than 7. She said so herself. Yeah. Okay, so maybe she's killed a few people. I don't know why that just made me think of the Drew Good and Danny Gonzalez video where they react to Hard Rock Nick and like he's like Drew is like imitating Hard Rock Nick and he's like, okay, maybe I was loosely involved in Watergate. Get off my ass about it. Or eat it if you're gonna be down there. Maybe she killed hundreds. Literally not even a drop in the proverbial bucket. Yeah. It's like, until she gets into the thousands and millions range, she's just... No, but they come to appreciate it when I win. I don't mean cops in particular. The same deal applies to anyone who works for the state. I'm just like you. The terms are stark, but the ink dried a long time ago, and we all agreed to them. Just a woman with a hobby. God forbid a woman has a hobby. God forbid a woman likes old-fashioned guns, and maybe she likes to shoot them at people. You know? Who are we to judge? I don't recall voting for it. Well, not voting is how these things come to pass, so... London wouldn't vote. He wouldn't vote. London seems like one of those people who wouldn't vote and then be like, I'm actually doing more than you because I didn't vote. Morgan gets caught because she gets invited to laser tag and consistently nails everyone directly in the heart. They're like, how are you doing this? It's almost like, wait a minute. We traded freedom for safety, individual rights for collective power. The state won, the citizens lost. The very least we can do is take their criticisms head on. Look, I don't have a problem with the responsibilities of authority. Only with authority being challenged. But they treat us like we're the bad guys. Reyes, I have bad news, Reyes. I have upsetting news, Reyes. You might want to sit down for this one. You might want to take a seat. Well, sometimes we are. Sometimes the law is wrong. Kind of funny how Emma's like, we're literally the villains here, and Reyes is still like, oh, but they're being mean to me! She's like, okay, maybe the state has some problems, but I'm not the state, I just work for them. And it's like, girl. So if any given individual is too small to ever affect change... So if the public's gonna hate us no matter what we do... And if corporations and governments will trample over people the same regardless of their character... And if we can't even be sure we're doing the right thing... What do you do, Adonai? What the hell do we do? I think it's pretty simple. Well, it's not as complicated as you'd think. In times like these, in a world like this, the only logical way to live is... The only moral way to act is... Do whatever it takes to win. Do whatever it takes to win. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god. Lesbian women. Oh my god. I am so gay. Oh my god. You're so hot. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh, to be laying on the ground with this image above you, oh, I can only dream. Like, I disapprove of Emma's ruthlessness being for the sake of the state, but it is kind of hot and morally ambiguous of her, right? Oh, they're so morally ambiguous. Oh my god, oh my god. Bathroom, shower, kitchen, wall, other wall, countertop, anywhere, anytime, any place. If I'm insignificant in the grand scheme of things, I can do my worst and no one will notice. If power is inherently evil, holding back won't save your soul. Just fight with both barrels. and trust the opposition to do the same. Winner takes all. Winner takes all. Oh, they're so fucking hot. Oh my god. 12:59 p.m., July 1st, 2086. Gatesfield Memorial Hospital. Oh, are we gonna take a look at his body? Ugh, thank you, you're a lifesaver. And the next time that Bridezilla texts you, just turn your phone off. Chatty guy. Must have been due to go on break. When he tried and failed to find the witness's medical record, his data pad had the name blacked out. But I did see that they have Caduceus Executive 3, more expensive than David's, which means they most likely... How did you do that? Stares at you like this. The background noise is very fun of just... So you catch the game? No, me neither. It just lends itself to be so awkward. Autism creature Sarah. Oh, yes. You need to hold the button to get the doors to close faster. Mashing does nothing. Yes, so you come here often? So you come to this elevator, you come to this hospital often? That is not what I meant. There were many others who arrived before us. How did you get us down here so quickly? Well, I didn't do anything. It was the nurse who escorted us. Yes, but you managed to get a stranger like him to help you with so few words, so little information. I don't think you even gave him your name. Haven't you heard of the golden rule? Oh, my shiny eyes! Oh, which one is my shiny eyes again? Which one is mine? Is it... Nope, that's sweat. What, There we go! Ah, we're matching! Ah. I need to set up like a little like post-it note to like with like the short keys, so I use those expressions more often. I love how eager Sarah is to learn, and she really does have a lot to learn from Morgan. David was right. Yeah, it's very cute. A VTuber that knows their keybinds, yeah. Just a reminder, they're them pronouns. But yeah, no, I know my totally. I need to put up a sticky note to get to remember them at some point, because I keep on forgetting that I have them. Of course I have. Treat others how you would want to be treated. Wrong. Treat others how they would want to be treated. That's a good distinction, actually. Like, especially as, like, for me as an autistic person, I had to learn that a lot of times what I would want in a situation is not what the other person would want. So I can't do what I would want, because I'm like, okay, what I would want is to be left the fuck alone. So then I leave and they're like, what are you doing? I need comfort. And I'm like, oh shit. He wanted someone that he could vent to. He wanted someone to pay attention to him, and he wanted to feel appreciated. Which meant he'd be eager to help, given the chance. Even just reading someone's mood is quite difficult. Oh, mood! This robot is autistic. This robot has autism. That's... what a mood, Sarah. How can you know how another person wants to be treated? Lots of trial and error. There are no mind readers. No one can ever know anything about what anyone's thinking. Maybe not even themselves. Doesn't matter if they're your parent, your twin, your lover. It'll always be a gamble. That is... not a very comforting sentiment. Welcome to the world, Sarah! David Asher invented a robot daughter and accidentally proved that autistic traits could be inherited even without genetics. I also love the idea that, like, David was, like, an undiagnosed autistic, and he's like, I mean, I'll make her like me. And then, like, Morgan's just like, this is the most autistic, like I'll make her like me. And it's just like, how do we tell him? Well, I think it's fun. Only because you're good at it. Real. Literally autistic person who has gotten really good at masking versus autistic person who can't mask interacting. How did you get good at it? Same as anything. Observation and practice. Everyone in this game is autistic. Okay, maybe not everyone, but Morgan definitely is. The way her eyes go dark with that question, yeah. You must have been observing and practicing for such a long, totally not traumatized, totally not. You must have been observing and practicing for a very long time then. Are we gonna get a flashback? Nope. Okay. So we proceed down the hall, bear left, look for the fourth door. I'm gonna open the one that says morgue on it. Hello? You can't see, but I literally just went like, and like, hello, hello, ma'am. Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, hey. Come on in. Don't stand out there in the cold. Wouldn't be accurate. Oh, she's so cool. Sorry about the chill in here, but I run a little hot. And you can see my roommates never complain. Yumi Sato, medical examiner. Trying to give her like a chill, kind of like stoner voice. Medical examiner likes accessories, reality TV, palm reading, dislikes social media, dress codes, ebooks. Loves to make new playlists, hates to throw out old clothes, most proud of my weekly meal prep. Oh, she's so cool. She's so fucking cool. Dr. Sato! Just the lady I wanted to see. Though I didn't expect that I'd get to. The fact that they've assigned a medical examiner and not some ad or junior means... you can just call me Yumi. And you're... Morgan. I represent the deceased. The deceased? Oh, the deceased. Asher D. Wait, really? That's, weird. I thought this time slot was scheduled for a group of noble PR people who... I know! Weird, right? Well, what the hell do I know? Just getting tired of hosting Megs anyway. I gotta finish typing up this report before we talk shop. But in the meantime, feel free to make yourself at home. Okay. Are these all dead bodies? One would hope so. I only meant that I'm surprised to see them stored here. It suggests a backlog, which suggests a higher murder rate than the public data would lead one to expect. Do you only examine bodies for the police, Doctor? I wish. Nah, most of my job involves confirming COD on natural deaths for insurance adjustments. Insurers want to blame the mod for failing. Mod makers want to blame the stiff for not exercising enough. Family says the company insurance plan would pay for mods, but not a gym membership. Yeah, that whole wall there is suspected defective liver mods, suspected leaking internal bio batteries, suspected CCIC? CCIC? Climate change-induced complications. You can prove that climate change contributed to an otherwise natural death? Very, very rarely. If it can be proved, what does that mean for the family of the deceased? Plus or minus 14% on a life insurance payout. I mean, it's most of what I do. I don't dislike my job. It's just... so much of what I do just boils down to telling a bunch of cheapskates how to split the dead man's bill. It's enough to make homicide feel like a breath of fresh air. What else? Oh, was that something? No. Okay, what else? That's a lot of screens. There's got to be diminishing returns on productivity. Why do you have so many monitors, ma'am? You can't just ask someone that. You can't just ask someone why they have so many monitors. That's such a personal question, Sarah. Good question. Every quarter when they do inventory and budgeting, they ask me if I need anything, and I never do, so I submit a blank form. But I guess a while back, there was a +1 in a spreadsheet somewhere, and no one's ever corrected it, and so, boom, I get 4 new monitors every year. Do you run out of things to use them for? Sometimes, but this year I've started running 2 dramas at once while I'm doing rote work, which helps. That sounds nice, honestly, yeah. Watching 2 television shows at the same time helps you do rote work? Oh, come on, Morgan, it's 2086. It must be... Videos with dinner are, like, already so ubiquitous. I feel like... helps me to use up the screens. I see. Okay. What's this? The hospital's getting renamed? No, guess it's some other hospital that got snapped up. Hospital renamed thanks to Ikaria family. In a ribbon-cutting ceremony held uptown today, Plotter Memorial Hospital was formally renamed the Northeastern Ikaria Medical Complex, in recognition of the family's incredibly generous donations over the last several years. It's the latest in a string of philanthropic efforts by the family to result in a name change after they paid for the renovations to the orchestra hall and then the retrofitting of what used to be known as the Scout Arena. But it wasn't so long ago that the Ikaria were better known for drawing blood than donating it. Back before the 50s, they had a fearsome reputation for cutthroat business practices, had their business rivals going so far as to accuse them of involvement with organized crime. After the founding of Renegen Medical over 25 years ago and its subsequent sale, the Ikaria have moved out of the business world and into the upper echelons of society. Now that are sometimes mockingly referred to as the neobility, a generation of newly minted aristocrats born from the unique and chaotic economics of the mid-21st century and the Red Decade. When asked about her opinion on those who would label her family House Ikaria at the hospital's renaming ceremony, Renegen board member Mireille Ikaria had this to say: "In this country, anyone can make a name for themselves so long as they're willing to put in the work. Mock new money all you want, but the truth is that success is all about reinventing yourself, and the only ones uncomfortable with that are working hard to print out the rest of your article character by character. It's tough work, but we'd be able to go about it a lot faster if you'd leave a tip. Want to drop your payment info in the jar? No thanks, man." The Ikaria. Guess they weren't always in the same line of work. Oh, that's just the thing. Okay. Thought there might be a search term. Now they're plastering their name wherever. Now they're plastering their name wherever to get themselves a new image, I would imagine. Let me. Boop. I'm assuming it's new image, but yeah, first try. All the neobility are eager to prop up their image wherever they can. Now I have a search term for neobility. Okay. Derogatory slang for nouveau riche families and their networks. Slang term for the nouveau riche, new money families that arose in the second half of the 21st century amid global economic turmoil. The name carries a negative connotation and is meant to criticize the way said families supposedly style themselves as nobility or even as a second estate that administers global power alongside the first, governments, and third, corporations. Use is also frequently searched for who are the nobility families, how to marry into wealth, define nouveau. That must go double for the Icarias. Assuming the truth about their criminal past is anywhere close to the rumors. She finishing up over there? In the far future of 2086, internet users will ask, what the fuck is French? She finishing up over there? Right, okay. So, what's up? Thanks for your time, Dr. Sato. My first question would be, what was the cause of death? Oh, wow. Hi there. Cute android. I didn't even realize it was really cute. The skin is... that's remarkable. Even just looking close, you can tell. They really are warm. Sarah's like, please stop examining me. Still not quite human body temperature, but they've come a long way. She's so cute, she is. I love Sarah so much. Sarah all flattered, yeah. The early gens all look... The early gens all look... Sorry, my voice. Oh, excuse me. The early gens all looked flushed, felt like they were always running a fever, and they ran like it too. Normal reaction to a hot goth girl getting unexpectedly close and interested to TBH? Yeah. I would do the same if a hot goth girl started examining my skin. Even 2 years ago, the average warm android only lasted... Sorry, but the circumstances surrounding this particular case call for expedience. Right. So what can I tell you? Cause of death. Were you able to determine the cause of death? Well, cause of death, sure. I got that much figured out at least. Why doesn't that sound particularly reassuring? Dr. Asher died of respiratory failure. Not enough oxygen in the blood, not enough blood going to the brain. Root cause being widespread depression of the central nervous system. What would the symptoms be? What would it have looked like? Lightheadedness, followed by dizziness. Then headaches, slurred speech, exhaustion, loss of consciousness, and finally respiratory arrest. The report shows that the EMTs tried intubation, then resuscitation through electrical stimulation repeatedly. By the time he got to the emergency room, they were desperate enough to attempt direct artificial blood oxygenation, but it was too late. And you're certain of all this? Oh, well, most of it, sweetie. Oh, call me sweetie, call me sweet. I am so down bad for this character. Most of it? Yeah, it's turned into quite the puzzle, and I'm used to having more pieces to start with. I was surprised a man as rich and famous as him didn't have any kind of biomes, but his files show... What's a biome? I can't get over the glow, that's such a cool detail. Okay, slang for biometer. Biomonitor. Biomonitor is a general use term for wearable technology or implanted mods that monitor or provide feedback on an individual's vital signs. Commonplace among the affluent as an additional layer of security, biome use is relatively rare among the middle class. Some sociologists and consumer trend analysts point to the anxieties about the climate, pollution, and the stress of modern life as to why adoption of biometers has met resistance with medium-wage earners. If one's health is already assumed to be poor, constant knowledge of its status might be considered uncomfortable. Biometers are also frequently employed by incarceration, probation, and workplace health initiative programs. Okay, so we didn't have one of those. His files show he wasn't a viable candidate for modding. Yeah, that's right. Without that kind of first-hand tech, we don't have nearly as much data as we'd like. But he was extensively monitored from the moment the EMTs arrived. We were very certain about our conclusion. Did you find anything else unusual about his body in your examination? Cuts or bruises? No injection sites? Nothing in any cavities? Ooh. Huh, wasn't a viable candidate makes me wonder if actually the brother story in Morgan presented in episode 0 wasn't Asher. Ah, that's a good point. Nothing at all, huh? Okay, talk screen. The police mentioned a talk screen. Yeah, that's the thing. They ran a talk screen when he first arrived. Typical diagnostic intake procedure. Based on the emergency call, they figured he must have overdosed on something. But the talk screen gave them nothing. A test performed on David Asher when he arrived at Gatesfield Memorial Hospital to determine what, if any, illicit substances were in his body. Alcohol was the only item positively identified at the time. I see. After he died, we performed the broadest screenings possible. Nothing. So, were you forced to conclude that this was a natural death? I didn't give up that easy. I took blood samples and compared their makeup with what was on record in his previous medical history. And I managed to isolate a single non-naturally occurring chemical compound that wasn't there before. What was it? Some exotic toxin from a different hemisphere? I wish. I ran it through every available database we have access to. And even a few I only sort of have access to through some friends. Not only does it not match any known poison, it doesn't match the chemical makeup of any registered compound. What the fuck? What the? It really was guinea pigged, huh? So, a designer drug, huh? That seems to be the best explanation. What the hell did you do, David? You said it didn't match any registered compound. What about compounds that aren't registered? Those friends of yours, private sector folks? Yeah, in pharmaceuticals. If one of them patented a new compound, a new drug, what would keep its formula from going on the record? In the private sector, intellectual piracy is the norm, so you're expected to protect your research aggressively. Patent first, find a use later? Yeah, a patent would have to at least describe your compound in brief, but depending on what country you file it in, I've heard it may be considered prudent to keep the actual chemical makeup off the record. Smart. Using international IP law as your own personal minefield. How so? Whenever you're ahead, patent as much as you can, as fast as you can, and buy the formulae so no one knows where it's safe to walk. Anybody small and ambitious comes along, finds a new drug they're excited about, you flip up your card, let them know you came up with the idea years ago. And that you give them a death by 1,000 court dates if they so much as blink. Wouldn't work on anyone your size or bigger. They could punch back, but for the rest of the fields... Wow, you corporate lawyers are scary. I keep on accidentally winking as I, lean my head up to do her voice. I'm not a corporate lawyer. So you came up with that strategy just now? So, it's possible that this poison is actually a known substance? Something that the hospital could have easily identified. If it wasn't considered a trade secret. Yes, unfortunately, that is a possibility. Still, just because a drug is new, that doesn't mean it's original. Does the effect of this compound, does the effect that this compound had remind you of any other drug? Maybe one that's prescription only? Or a controlled substance? One you might know by another name, but with a patented structure? Sorry, sweetheart. It's a general depressant. There are a lot of drugs that have that effect on the body, and they come in all shapes and sizes from all kinds of places. If the effect was unremarkable, what about its strength? Could you estimate how much of this stuff he had in his body, all told? Not precisely, no. Not without detailed knowledge on its half-life, but I'd guess that it must have been about 20 milligrams? Is 20 milligrams a lot? Not for a medicine, so this wasn't just an overdose of something relatively harmless then. No, not if 20 mil was enough to crash his entire nervous system. Thank you, Yumi. Of course. So, lost consciousness at 8:03, declared dead at 8:25, in ICU, redacted presiding. Cause of death, respiratory failure. Unknown substance detected in bloodstream, approximately 20 milligrams total. The loud, curling handwriting at the bottom of the document reads, "What the heck is talk screen? Send attending physicians back to med school. Send apologies to attending physicians. These readings are a nightmare." You ready to view the body? Oh, to have a goth girl ask me if I'm ready to look at a dead body. We could skip it if you want. I know most people get squeamish around corpses. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Okay then, let's get started. Yeah? Oop. Alright, I'll just step out for a moment to give you some privacy. Yes, please, thank you. The last time we talked was on a Sunday. Yeah, the music. She's having memories. You were complaining. I remember that. It's the principle of the matter. Right. You ordered this cheap piece of shit sculpture or something by mistake, and it came damaged, and you wanted to send it back for a refund. I gently reminded you how with your salary it was literally not worth your time, and I kindly offered to throw it out for you since you're having so much trouble letting go. You're only offering because you want to see You're only offering because you want to see how loud it sounds shattering at the bottom of my trash can. You know me so well, David. I denied it, even though you were right, and it was obvious. I should have let you have that one. Oh, where's my... There's... Oh. There we go. I thought that he would look different. Oh. Huh? But he looks exactly the same as I remember. His skin is pale, and he's very still. But his face is the same. His hair, his hands. You were expecting something more drastic? The last time I saw him, he was alive. He smiled, and he told me he would see me soon. Now he is dead. Something is gone. And I can't find the difference. Oh, Sarah. I'm trying to look harder, but I think I might just not be capable of it. And I wonder why. Why I was created to not be capable. Oh, Sarah! Could be an issue of skill. Morgan! Morgan! Stop it! Or maybe it's not something that can be seen, no matter how hard you look. But it's there, I guarantee it. I've seen the transition enough times to be sure that between life and death, the distinction has significance. To the dead, at the very least. You're going to smoke here? Now? I'll pay the fine. That's not the issue. Were you expecting me to fall to pieces? Real boys grieve in all kinds of ways, Pinocchio. And some don't grieve at all, it seems. Hey, you don't know how she's grieving. I'm a cold woman. Sorry to disappoint. The hell? Why the hell won't this thing light? Adonai. You have your cigarette backwards. Totally cold, totally unaffected, not emotional at all. Not so emotional that she, an avid smoker, had the cigarette backwards and didn't even notice until Sarah pointed it out. Totally not affected. Alright, that's back into cold storage for him, so... Need anything else? Definitely not disassociating a little, definitely not. She is cool as a cucumber. Can you send me the chemical makeup of that compound you isolated? Sure, for what it's worth. Sure, for what it's worth. Let me just... It's got carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen with hexagonal structures. Hexagonal structures. Hexagonal? So it's organic, but there's a number of metallic elements too. And if you had to speculate on its intended use based on what we know of its structure, well, it certainly acted like a depressant, binding to receptor pathways and affecting the balance of neurotransmitter reuptake. Depressants are pretty rare. Depressants are pretty rare in the designer drug scene. True. People are always looking for a higher high or a crazier trip, but a more powerful depressant will just make you fall asleep. Not much need to hit up the gray market for that kind of experience. No, there's not. I see. Thanks again. You've been extremely helpful during a very difficult time. Hey, anything you need, give me a ring. Random noises go brrrr. I can't roll my R's. That's a flaw I have as a human being. I always say when I try to roll my R's, I sound like a goose falling down the stairs, because I try and go like... It's not working! I can't do it! Hey, anything you need, give me a ring. That's very generous. Rockford's orders have got me on call, so I'm already getting overtime for the whole weekend. Glad to hear it. Goodbye, Yumi. And goodbye to you, Greenie. My name is Sarah. Nice to meet you, Sarah. 2:13 p.m., July 1st, 2086. Up on ramps and down off ramps above skywalks and under tram lines. The buildings get progressively more polished as we head into the most economically developed part of the city. Corporate territory, national headquarters for the likes of Howe Industries, Locken, Tethys, Knife, each of them sheltering their this art is so cool, the 3D. Each of them sheltering their own microcity of employee accommodations beneath their skyscraper shadows. Whalefall, the entirety of the ocean floor coming together to feast and grow and live. Love this, we're looking out the window. Live off the fetid, rotting fat of the leviathans that have swallowed generations of people by the mouthful. Weight is commonly listed, and my weight is... Do I really have to disclose that? Noble lays claim to one of the largest shadows in the city, a towering nerve center for the whole nation's android industry. Oh, we're in the dark now. It's meant to be intimidating, I'm sure, but today I'm glad that Noble keeps such a sizable physical presence here. I need answers about David and his work on Sarah. Answers I'd never get browsing the company's website or speaking to a representative. Synopsis. Relationships. There are typically trivia sections as well. Should I start there? I love how, Sarah's just in the background trying to fill out, her personal bio. Noble will have their guard up, of course, but even that will tell me something. Where they let me walk, who they let me talk to. History. Their efforts at performative transparency and clumsy obfuscation will... How did you know my father? What? I'm sorry. You interrupted my brooding session! Knuckles, why the fuck do you have Legos on your shoes? You interrupted my brooding session! I'm sorry. Did I interrupt your brooding? No. What did you ask? My father. I know you were his friend. But what was your relationship like? Can't you just scroll through our socials? Father avoided social media. And your online presence is... not significant. What do you think Morgan's online presence is? Probably has, an Instagram from, middle school that she's just, never remembered to delete that has, one picture on it. You're saying I don't have enough followers? Morgan has, a LinkedIn and that's it. Yeah, a LinkedIn that she hasn't actively, posted on in, over 3 years. Essentially. We went to the same college. You studied programming? No, I studied all kinds of different things as an undergrad, but not technology. Is that a good way to prepare for law school? I wasn't preparing for law school. Or anything else, really. David, though. He had talent, and he knew he wanted to do something with it. He studied programming, robotics, discrete math, cybernetics. What classes did you share then? Business ethics. I was the second best student in the class, and he was the first. He was the one who asked the most questions. Not sure about his actual ranking. He found the course challenging, and I clearly didn't, despite being younger. Guess he felt burned. He'd come up to me after class to argue, and sometimes to ask for help. Father always talked about socializing like it was a chore. Not beating the autistic allegations, are we? It was kind of you to give him a chance. What? Like I was some kind of social butterfly? The belle of the ball? You weren't? Sarah, look me in the eyes and tell me you genuinely think I was a social butterfly in college. One Sunday night, he knocked on my door all panicked, saying he was in bad shape for this tech course. There was a midterm or something the next day. I couldn't make heads or tails of the material, but I did my best to at least quiz him. He wasn't satisfied, though. Wanted to cram the rest of the night. Father had to cram for an undergraduate midterm? Did I say something scandalous? He's been called the founder of modern programming. Yeah, well, even founder types can have poor time management when they're 21. He was already fried by that point. It wasn't hard to tell what he was really asking for. So I went and stole a study aid for him. Morgan was absolutely the socially isolated weird girl who gave people bad vibes, and David Asher, obliviously neurodivergent in a different way, was like, she's interesting, weird, wrong, cool, insightful. I'm gonna argue with her and ask for help. Yeah. And she just stole a study aid for it. You stole a controlled substance just to help him with studying? No, that'd be insane. No, I just pocketed some breath mints from the common room. Told him to pinch his nose and swallow fast because the taste is so strong. Oh my god, she fucking... It's not Pavlov. What's the placebo? She placeboed his ass. You gave him a placebo. He already knew the content as good as he ever would. What he needed was to sleep. He could barely keep his eyes open by the time I got back from my daring heist. Didn't take much convincing for him to rest his eyes just until it kicked in. And the test? B+, I think. I'm surprised that Father stayed close with you after that. You stole and lied to him. I stole and lied for him. And David understood that. He was good at understanding things without me having to spell them out. But I guess that's not the kind of thing that gets passed down through programming. Anyway, we kept in touch after that. First year of grad school, he published this paper. The Turing Solution, a framework for programming adaptive linguistic heuristics. One of his advisors came up with that title. David thought it was way too cocky, but it still hasn't failed any known Turing test in the years since. She's so proud of her dad. Don't act like you're the one who deserves credit for it. He called me one weekend, asking for advice on how to handle all the attention. Job offers, interviews, apprenticeships, invitations to immigrate. What did you tell him? I don't remember telling him anything, actually. A lot of our conversations went like that. He would talk to me about whatever personal or professional problem he was stuck on in his head on that day, and I would nod while he wore himself out. And at the end of the conversation, he'd thank me, even though I hadn't offered a single word of advice. Oh my god, she was his rubber duck! Oh my god! Y'all know the programming rubber duck thing where it's like a strategy to talk your code through out loud to a rubber duck to find out once you say it out loud you realize the inconsistencies. She was his rubber duck. He took Noble's offer and they took over his education, paid for him to work on his master's during the day and attend corporate training at night. And whatever else Noble may be, they were smart enough to start listening to him early. You are referring to his one-point doctrine. Quality over quantity. Simple and elegant, just like his code. Simple and elegant, but anathema to a global corporation with supply chains designed for maximum capacity and just-in-time manufacturing. But obviously they got over their distaste fast enough. In the span of a few years, Noble's gone from making manual labor ads for meager profit to being the world leader in intelligence as a service. even as he was making money hand over fist, he still kept in contact with a nobody like me. I moved to the city for my apprenticeship. He helped me put a down payment on my apartment, then made up excuses for why he couldn't help me move boxes. So is that enough detail for you? Thoroughly convinced that he and I were in fact friends? I am. But, Adonai, the favor that you owe him, what was it for? That's private, understand? I have zero interest in talking about it with you. Say you understand. I understand, Adonai. Hello, Cat Rollins. Hello, hello, welcome in. How are you doing today? We will be arriving shortly. Shall I send word ahead? Good, that's good. I'm glad you're doing good. Just tell them that David's lawyer is here. 2:49 p.m., July 1st, 2086. Noble Electronics, Northeastern HQ. Sub-lobby A8. I've been here before. Okay, I think we're coming up on 2 hours, so I think that is going to be a good place to save it. Oh, let's look at poison. Unidentified substance found in the bloodstream of David Asher. It has many similarities to the chemical makeup of a depressant drug. Yeah. Okay, I think we are gonna save right here, because this seems like a good stopping point. We just got to a new place. And then we are going to... where am I looking for? Return to title, yes. Yes. Okay. Oh, she always looks so cool here. Okay, let's... Oh, I think the art in this game is so cool. Okay, let's exit out. Let's move the YouTube chat so I can switch to talking, and I can go back to this. And then I'm going to turn it down in my ears, and then I can turn it up a little bit here. That should be good. Okay, so that is going to do it for the stream. That was such a fun time. I'm definitely going to continue Of the Devil until I finish episode 1, and then when episode 2 comes out, I want to play episode 2. I don't know how many episodes they're planning to make, but I definitely want to continue this game. It is so fun, and the story and the art and everything is so good. They're planning 5? Okay. Yeah, I definitely will want to probably play through all of the episodes as they come out. But yeah, let's look for someone to raid. Oh, also, before I forget, I said this in the Discord, but I have set my new cover to upload tomorrow, Wednesday, July 30th at noon, 12 p.m. Central Daylight Time on my YouTube channel, Pinky Punchy. I'm really excited for it. I would really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. Share it if you think there's people you that would like it. But yeah, very excited for that. And then I will see you guys on Thursday for... I believe on Thursday I'm doing Pokemon, and then Saturday I'm doing a Zoo Tycoon. So I'll see you on Thursday for Pokemon. Have a good one, Pinky. You too. Here, let's look. Let's see who we can raid. Who can we raid? Who? I tell you. We have 7 viewers? Holy shit. Okay, Raj, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay, who can we raid? Oh, this person's playing Of the Devil. I don't know them, but they're playing Of the Devil, so... Okay, I don't know this person, so... I don't know if the stream... I don't know. But they're playing Of the Devil, so... We should... Or maybe we should... Actually, let's raid into someone. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who to raid. Okay, who... Let's raid into Frubin. They're live. We haven't raided into him yet. Let's Great. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Again, check out my cover tomorrow on my YouTube channel. I'll see you guys on Thursday for Pokemon Fire Red continuing. Other than that, I don't think there's much else. We're just gonna raid out. So I will see you guys on Thursday. Punch out!